All right, welcome back to the Superhuman podcast. Today we're going to be digging into some preventative care with our guest, Hunter Ziesing. Did I say that right?
You got it right.
Is that German?
Swiss German.
Swiss
Yep.
German. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah.
But you nailed
Ziesing.
it.
That
You
sounds.
nailed it. Some people say Zai, but
Oh,
D's
okay.
in US DIE. In German, ZEI is Zai. So you nailed it.
Sweet. All right,
Nice to
Hunter
meet you.
Ziesing, co-founder of Longevity Health, and you know how much we love longevity on Superhuman, so I'm really excited. He's the former head of partnerships at Paceline too, so that's pretty awesome. We'll, cover incentives, outcomes, and how to make longevity care actually stick with people. I saw that as the major angle when I was, doing some prior research on Hunter, and he's also the advisor to Kyoku, which was acquired by the Feed, and he's a veteran of capital markets and a competitive cyclist. So that's really interesting too. So maybe we can talk about biking and some of the health benefits, and other benefits. So yeah, Hunter, is there anything I missed?
Nope.
Sweet. So I guess the first question is why are you in longevity? Why longevity now? Why should people care about longevity in 2025? I've been seeing longevity is definitely on the rise, and what should people know about longevity?
Great. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate you having me on the show. Um, so I was a Wall Streeter for 20 years right out of college. Did fairly well, made some decent money. Highly stressful environment. Um, and five of my friends under the age 40 died of largely preventable diseases. So, some were cancer, some were unavoidable. I also lost my father when he was 67, when I was in my early 40s as well, to a preventable disease. And it just sort of struck me that more could be done to get in front of these things. I've always been a competitive athlete my whole life. I've eaten well, I've kept my body thin, and I've always enjoyed helping people that are out of health or slightly overweight sort of find ways to get healthy. And cardiovascular and exercise and weightlifting are probably all you need to know. We can just end this show right now. Eat,
Okay.
eat, eat, eat what you want, calories in, calories out, show over. But no, there's so much you can do. And a lot has happened in the last 20 years to detect uh, cancer and a whole host of other
Hmm.
diseases. But anyway, I left at age 41 and I started the Echelon Foundation, Charity of Choice Foundation. It was called Echelon Livestrong. And we put on outdoor cycling events all over the country and benefiting Livestrong cancer centers. You remember the yellow bracelets? The infamous Lance Armstrong started that, did an
Of
amazing
course.
job
Yeah.
creating awareness for cancer survivors. I'm more in the category, once you got cancer, it's too late, you're done. Let's focus on prevention and treatment. So the survivorship that Lance created, the tools for people was amazing. We focused on uh, fundraising for cancer centers and getting in front of the disease. I did that for 15 years, and then I went to work for a company called Paceline, which you wear a wearable device, including a Garmin, a Fitbit, or an Apple Watch, which tracks your heart rate. And each week you would elevate your heart rate to 150 minutes of elevated heart rate, which could be just aggressive walking or running or jogging or weightlifting. It would open up a rewards basket for consumers, and you'd hit a streak each week. You got to your 150 minutes, and then it would go back to zero. And we paid people $1 a week to work out. And what was remarkable is that people would fight to get their 150 minutes each week. Like if it was Sunday afternoon, you were in 135 minutes and you had 15 more minutes, you'd run to the gym or you'd go for a brisk walk to get your 150 minutes. So it was really a gamified way of changing behavior.
Hmm.
It worked. We built it to 1 million users and they launched a credit card and now they're getting into insurance. Wonderful company. But what we proved that you can change behavior. The bad news is most people that were on the platform were already healthy, right? It's the people that really need it. We're not doing it. In fact, we tested it in San Francisco as a huge hit, but in no offense to Motown, Detroit, it wasn't a big success. So there needs to be a whole lot more done in the healthcare system to gamify and change people's behavior. So anyway, so I started futzing around with data and I started looking at and hacking in all of these various functional tests coming into the marketplace, things that you don't get from your doctor, such as a regular blood test, a DEXA scan, which is bone density, sleep studies. I mean, there's so many things you can test, gut biome, RNA, DNA. And I found that the consumers are really confused by the plethora of data and which ones to use. Take a blood test, here's some supplements, right? Um, so we formed a company called Longevity Health. The website is longevityhealth.me. And we developed a clinical platform that takes advantage of all these tests and data. And it's not cheap, it's $11,000 a year. It's a full clinical model. We're fully HIPAA compliant. We have doctors, we have exercise physiologists, nutritionists, and clinicians. And we give you an executive board. We do a variety of tests. The current tests that we're doing right now, and they change based on the individual, are a comprehensive blood test for your biomarkers, a DEXA scan, which is bone density. We do a VO2 max test. We do some strength tests. We do a sleep study, usually with Oura Ring. And I'm missing a test or two here. There's 6 total. Then the longevity board analyzes all your data and meets with you and develops a plan for you. We give you a Slack channel and we follow you for the rest of the year, constantly in your face. And you can be in our face through the Slack channel. And the reason we're doing that online is, one, it's a lot easier to reach people than dragging them into a clinic for a day to do all these tests. You can do the test at home or you can go to one of our testing partners. And it's a wonderful product. It compares to what you would pay $20,000 or $30,000 a year if you were to go to a bricks and mortar clinic. And we're one of the only companies scaling this nationally. And I'll shut up there. The problem with that platform is it's not highly scalable. And we're in the midst of developing an AI model to take some of the clinician work out of the equation. But that's where we got started, and we've run 80 or so clients through it, and we've had some incredible outcomes because it's really all about not just the data, but it's about changing people's lives. So very excited about it.
That is just excellent. And okay, so all right, you probably the clients for this platform here are very like people who already probably care a lot about their health.
Yes and no. I mean, the
Oh,
typical, surprisingly, younger people are taking this on.
hmm.
Biohackers
Yeah.
or people that had a health scare. So my partner who started this company had a family of heart disease in his family. Both his grandfathers died at 50. Or it's somebody who's just had a recent health scare and had a wake-up call. But largely people in their 40s and 50s, not 60s and 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, and so how do you think we can get this kind of stuff? You were talking about gamification too, like you said, like in Motown, Detroit, it's kind of hard pushing longevity. What's the way we can push this kind of stuff, to everyone, especially the people who really need it?
Well, first, there's a lot of things that have to change. One, we need to make it more affordable
Hmm,
because not everybody can go pay for all these tests.
hmm,
Um, we need the regulatory environment to catch up and enable and authorize AI to actually prescribe procedures in medicine.
hmm.
That's coming. We need consumers to adopt a fully AI model. We've already built it. I could demo it right on this call. It's pretty cool. It'll call you up and
Oh,
talk to
cool.
you, and you can have a conversation with it. And it records your conversation and allows you to download any records that you've had put into um, our platform that holds your data, and then we can analyze the data, and then it'll spit out recommendations. The challenge, besides the regulatory environment, is consumers aren't fully ready for the driverless doctor.
Yeah.
I know you live in Chicago. Do you have, is Waymo there yet?
No, I
Okay.
haven't seen any.
Yeah.
Maybe
So when you see your
downtown.
first driverless car, you're going to run. I guarantee you're going to
Well,
run away.
I'm in San Jose most of the year, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, and you trust them. But most people just aren't quite ready for a fully AI experience. So consumer habits have to change.
Hmm.
Uh, and then the healthcare system has to change because right now your doctor is largely paid on actuarial insurance claims and whatever he can get paid for it and prescribe. But if you are you a skier or a snowboarder?
No.
Okay. Um, if you if you were a skier and you bought all your ski equipment on Amazon and you walked into a um, ski shop and said, "Hey, mount my bindings. And by the way, the zipper on the jacket I bought on Amazon is broken. Can you fix it?" They're going to say, "F you, get out of here." It's the same thing with these doctors. If you walk in with all this new modern functional tests, they don't get paid for it. They don't know what to do with it. They
Mm,
don't get paid for it. So they're very hesitant to use that data. But I think if we empower consumers with this data and we can use it to change clinical outcomes, we'll worry about behavior later, but if we can change clinical outcomes with data that's specific to Marty Hendricks, not Hunter Ziesing, then eventually we think the Medicare and self-insured companies will start paying for these tests. Because right now you go to your employer and they're like, "Hey, here's a gym membership at Gymshark, and here's a sleep ring, and you're on your way." But Marty, you may not have sleep problems, right? You may not need a gym membership, but you might have some other complex issues that you're dealing with. So by using AI and this voice agent, we can talk to you and tell you what you need and recommend the tests that you need, and then get your employers to pay for these tests. So affordability is a huge issue, and more people are paying for their own healthcare, but it's still really expensive. You know, blood tests cost $300. An RNA or DNA test can cost $400. You want to do genome sequencing, it can cost $3,000. So the healthcare industry has to accept these new standards and accept reimbursement for such.
yeah. No, that's probably a really great thing that you guys are using AI to keep it personalized, but also scale it. So that's pretty awesome. Um, so then yeah, I guess how are you guys doing regulation wise? You said you're HIPAA compliant. Has anything been a big pain in the neck? I just really am curious because I want to know how it's like regulatory wise for people who are in the longevity space, trying to kind of stir it up and make things more preventative and proactive in healthcare. How's that been?
Great question. So far, HIPAA compliance for us has not been difficult whatsoever,
Nice.
nor is getting consumers and patients to give us their data. They trust us. Um, we haven't gotten into any regulatory hurdles yet with AI, but they're coming. And it's a
Mm,
concern because if AI tells you, to do something and it's wrong, then we're going to have a problem. Someone's going to get sued. And that's why the next version of our product is uh, AI in the foreground, human in the loop. So we're always going to have a
mm,
doctor looking at your data, but instead of charging $8.99 a month, we can charge $200 a month. But so far, I haven't heard any horror stories about AI sending somebody off a cliff. And I think people are smart enough to realize that AI still hallucinates a little bit.
mhm.
I mean, you use it, right? It doesn't always
Oh
give
yeah.
you the right information. And people know that, but in time, these large language models will become, trainable. So we need to train these AI models to go into residency and learn how to become doctors. But so far,
Mm.
as I haven't heard one story yet where any company has run into trouble with HIPAA compliance or with using AI data to make recommendations.
Nice. That's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. Because sure you know about, there's Moore's law, most industries as compute gets easier, right? Or compute gets better, things get cheaper and faster. But it seems like often the opposite happens in healthcare. Just things get more expensive and harder. Ebrum's law, they call it.
What do
Moore's
they
law
call it?
backward. Ebrum's law.
Ebrams law. Interesting.
Ebrum's law, yeah, the backwards of Moore's law.
Yeah,
So it's good
vast.
to hear that at least in longevity, it's not causing too many problems, right? The regulatory environment.
No,
Nice.
but it's going to change.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by that?
I think I don't know how long it's going to take, but in time, I think they're testing this in Singapore and Israel. AI will be able to prescribe medicine.
Hmm.
So my dream is to have an app with a check engine light on it, and it'll have all your personal data in one place. human in the loop, but eventually the human is out of the loop. Your check engine light will come on. Say, hey, Marty, I've seen you've been traveling abroad and you've been eating poorly and you put on 6 pounds. And based on your other data, a warning flag goes off. Or it might determine that you have an actual problem that needs to be addressed. So again, AI is not going to fix it. It'll give you that red flag warning and it'll send you to either our doctor or to your primary physician. Or if it's in your case of your car, your check engine light comes on, your oil light comes on, you go get your oil changed. The brake light comes on, you get your brake light changed. Um, I think it's going to take a ton of bureaucracy out of the system. I'll give you an example. I went to see, I have pretty severe allergies, nasal allergies. So I did all this research online, ChatGPT, and I figured out I needed a skin test. Okay. I went to the doctor. It took me 6 weeks to get an appointment with the allergist. I was there 40 minutes, 20 minutes of intake, 20 minutes with the doctor, paid $150. My insurance company will pay it, most of it, but there's a copay. And they said, you need to come back in 2 weeks for a skin test. I'm like, why do I need to come back? I already know what I need. I didn't even need to see the doctor. I just give me the damn skin test. Change my oil for Christ's sakes, right? Um, so I get dinged twice on the copay. The insurance company gets dinged twice. So there's just too much red tape and bureaucracy in the healthcare system. And love or hate RFK Jr., there's some pretty interesting stuff going on in Washington right now.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? What's your take on RFK?
Well, he's nutty. But I agree with one of his principles in that the food companies are poisoning us, the drug companies are profiting off us, as are the insurance companies. End of care life, I think it's $6 trillion in the US, of which, if people weren't morbidly obese, could probably be reduced in half. I was just in Italy and Amsterdam, and I couldn't help to notice how thin people were. I
Oh
started
yeah.
doing some research, and I think there's 4,000 allowable food additives in the EUC, and there's like 25,000 allowed in the US. It doesn't mean they're all bad, but processed foods are something that he's after, and hopefully doing something about reducing the cost of drugs.
Yeah, no, when I was in Europe, just something about the food was just different, you know? Something about the meat and cheese just seemed a lot less like plasticky than it is here.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker, but I hear, wine in Europe has way less additives.
Hmm.
Um, and there's also the challenge we have here. We're a Home Depot, Costco society and big
Yeah.
SUVs to get there, where you go to these little in Europe in these little towns and the market, everything's locally grown, locally
Yeah, that's
sourced
right. Yeah.
for the market. So it's hard to get preservatives and food additives in locally grown food.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know how you address that in the US, but what we could do through gamification is provide people incentives or nudges to buy better food. So
Mm.
again, I'm thinking futuristic, like here in the app, you're literally driving down the highway looking for food. It directs you to fresh food, or you're in what's your grocery store in Chicago?
We do Sunset Foods. It's local in
Sunset Foods, or
Northbrook.
in California, here in the East Coast, Stop and Shop or whatever,
Yeah.
in the West Coast, Safeway. And you're literally walking down the aisle and it's just say, hey, Marty, no to the biscuits. Based on your genetics and your data and your diet plan for you with AI, here's a menu. Oh, by the way, these consumer product packaged goods companies are offering these healthy incentives for you to buy. You can save $20 on your shopping basket by
Mm.
buying healthier food. Just little prods to get people to shop better. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think waiting for RFK Jr. or any politician to change the food supply in America is going to solve obesity in this nation.
Oh wow, I really like the way you're thinking about this. This can be really big. But one thing though is, so I saw a thing RFK Jr. said that in 4 years he wants everyone wearing wearables, right? And I assume this kind of idea we're talking about here of like an AI coach that is with you everywhere would be very wearable intensive, technology intensive. And I saw these YouTube thumbnails after of people commenting on it, like RFK wants to hack your body and steal all your information, and the devil is in the wearables and is going to get you. Do you feel like this 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 kind of notion that, wearables and this kind of thing is invasive is among most Americans, or like, do you think the tide's going to shift? What do you think would do that? Like, how do you feel about the public sentiment of,
Funny, it sounds more Democratic Big Brother wanting to control you than Republican not wanting to control you.
yeah,
If I walk into an assisted living center and I said, "Hey, I got this app that's going to help improve your life. Give me all your health data," they're going to say, "Get out of my face. I'm not giving you your data." I
mm,
think people your age, up to my age, uh, are way more open with their data. Come on,
oh yeah,
Google's got all your information. Amazon knows where you
yeah,
shop. It's helpful because
part of the lifestyle.
they can serve up stuff to you. So I wouldn't be worried about government getting your data. In fact, if anything, I think 2 weeks ago, I don't know if it was RFK, but Google, Microsoft, Apple, they just a bunch of tech companies just did something in Washington where they're going to make data more accessible to consumers.
Mm.
So I think that's really what it's
Oh
all
yeah,
about.
the antitrust thing with Google that I
Exactly.
saw. And
But
that
but I
was so
didn't
they
hear
can
anything
have to give
about,
up Chrome.
them getting a wearable and everybody. And it sounds great, but with the exception of, we do CGM for all of our patients as well.
Oh,
The
nice.
glucose monitoring, whether you need it or not, we do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Heard great things about that.
but other than a CGM, I just can you tell me of a wearable device that's really tracking health behavior that's going to be, I mean, it's just I mean, the data is great, but it's just not, it seems like a novel to me, a novelty,
Mm.
sleep, heart rate. Um, I just don't know if there's a lot you can do with that clinically. So I'd be curious as to what they're after with a wearable, unless they want to put a CGM on everybody. And anybody that's close to being obese is going to say, no wucking fay, you're not getting my data, especially if you're
Yeah.
going to deem me on my insurance. And they,
Yeah. I think that's maybe what people are afraid about. Or people just generally afraid of, like you said, the big brother concept without even looking in really to the details of where their data's going or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we want to do to assure people, because we are ultimately going to be a huge data company with hundreds of millions of users and all
Yeah.
this data, is that
Yeah, big time.
we might sell raw data, but we would never sell individual data. I'm a firm believer that your data is yours, just like your money in your Schwab account.
Mm.
And we just want to
Mm.
use your data to help make informed decisions. But yeah, I mean, there's risk. You saw last year there was that huge breach of the healthcare system where a bunch of data got out. But I just, I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know what somebody could actually do with that data, let alone your shopping data. And no company, because of HIPAA laws, can ding um, employees, and Medicare can't ding seniors if they're morbidly obese. We need to change behavior by offering incentives. So if you're willing to give
Mm.
us your data and make improvements, then we'll give you incentives, but only you will see your data.
Yeah, have you looked into crypto at all for this? I've been seeing these cool crypto companies do it. I don't know how it works at all. I just saw it. Like using crypto to like pay people for doing health things, like going on walks and stuff. Have you looked into that? Do
I
you have any
haven't.
insights on that?
Sweatcoin is the walking app that kind of does that.
Yeah, yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
I know those guys. And at Paceline, we actually gave away money, too much money to get people to exercise. I'd like to use blockchain
Hmm.
for data.
Hmm.
So let's say that you have B-cell lymphoma,
Hmm.
or you are predisposed to some genetic disease that your family had. Not only do you want to know preventive steps to resolve that as you age, but what if there's a new drug on the market, a drug study, right? They could reach you through the blockchain and pay you to be part of that study.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and then you could say yes, no. They don't know who you are. You just get pinged through the blockchain that, hey, Marty, we have this new treatment for your rare B-cell lymphoma disease because we know
Hmm.
you have.
Yeah.
So we put you in the universe, but not your name, and they can approach you.
Ooh, that is very, very cool. Uh, yeah, and then you own your data too. You own it, and people don't even know it's you because it's just by your primary key, right? Or
Correct.
oh yeah, that is super cool. Yeah, when were you looking into crypto? You seem very knowledgeable about how
No,
it
I'm
works
not,
and
I'm
stuff.
not knowledgeable. I missed the whole crypto trade.
Oh, okay.
I owned Bitcoin for about a month and I lost money and I think it's
Ah,
tripled since I sold it. Yeah.
oh
I,
yeah.
I only worry about crypto. I only worry about crypto because I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Every president runs up the deficit. You can blame Biden for putting trillions into the economy for COVID,
Hmm.
but Trump's going to run the deficit up even more. And until the dollar is no longer the gold standard,
That's what
we're
a lot of
screwed.
Bitcoin people are saying. Yeah.
We're screwed if some other currency. And I was worried when crypto came around that the dollar is no longer the gold standard, and we have all this debt, and
Hmm.
now rates go up, and we have to service the debt. But I don't know enough about crypto, but it's pretty cool. It's banking the unbanked.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's been my recent interest too. It's really awesome.
are you
And it's
trading?
cool the political aspects of it. I just got like an eToro account. I'm considering it. I'm
Yeah.
considering buying a little Bitcoin just to say I have Bitcoin, but I don't I don't. Yeah. And Vita DAO is cool. So, longevity. Vita DAO is pretty cool. So research, typically I think it goes through, I mean, you know this more than me. Uh, but it goes through like college institutions and grants and very like centralized institutions funding it. Whereas Vita DAO, DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. They use a crypto coin to crowdfund and vote on longevity research. It's like a community. It's the coolest thing.
I'll check that out. I mean, I'm just thinking longer term for gamification
Hmm,
to provide people a coin for
hmm,
better behavior instead of a cash currency. The problem with giving people incentives is they
okay.
cost money. At
Yeah,
Paceline, I think we were giving away a couple $100,000 a month in Amazon gift cards. It's just
yeah,
not economically feasible.
yeah.
But maybe there's something we could do in crypto.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think I saw this company Kudus doing something like that. I have no idea how, like the intricacies, but they're doing something with rewarding people through crypto. Uh, called the Kudus coin. You might want to look into that. That looked pretty interesting for you and the viewers. It's a cool thing going on there. But I wanted to switching subjects completely from crypto, back sort of to health. But I've been recently looking at the supplement market. Been interested in that because I read this book and it said that most supplements are BS. So, you knowing a lot about longevity and health and stuff, like what supplements are actually good?
I was hoping you're going to talk about cycling.
Oh, well, we'll get to cycling.
Um, okay, so interesting you should mention supplements because I actually ran Hammer Nutrition sales for a couple of years. Look, I
Yeah.
still have the Hammer Nutrition.
Oh
It,
yeah. The
it's a
merch.
it's a performance enhancing supplements company, all non-sugar based. I'm not a huge supplements person. I'm not a huge, recovery person, take a bunch of powders. I'm a meat and potatoes, balanced meal kind of person. Um, Supplements feel like snake oil to me. I don't know if you've ever been in GNC, but you could walk into a GNC and if you listen to every manufacturer, you'd walk out of there with a trunk full of supplements to take every day, right? Um,
Yeah.
I
Probably
am,
mess up your stomach with all those too.
and so I've never taken a lot of supplements, but I just went through my longevity program at my own company for the first time. I did a blood test and a DEXA scan. I did some other tests as well. The CGM I really didn't need. I was fine, but I just tried it. And my testosterone, I'm older. My testosterone wasn't as high as it should be, so they prescribed one. I took a blood test company with one of our competitors, and they wanted to give me like injections, right? And I'm like, nah. So they recommended a few supplements as well as weightlifting. My iron was a little bit low. But there's a lot of stuff in the blood tests that can tell you kind of what supplements to take. And in fairness to some of our competitors like Function Health and Superpower and Life Force and Thorne Research, they do a blood test and then recommend supplements. So I think Thorne is the best one on the market and
Hmm.
hopefully going to be one of our partners. So
Hmm.
it's a long-winded answer to your question. I can't tell you what my favorite supplements are. I think that's the whole concept of what we're trying to do is what is right based on your objectives and your biometrics for which supplements to take. But I can tell you this, with a client or patients we brought to our system, about half of them were taking way too many supplements and the wrong ones. We reduced
So,
the amount of supplements people were taking.
nice. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's just something been looking into, and probably I bet a lot of viewers of this podcast uh are probably the types, if you're listening to a health tech podcast, you probably care a lot about health and might take a lot of supplements, but only recently finding out a lot of them, like you said, are uh either not good for you or potentially bad for you. So I just
Yeah, I'm
wanted to
just looking
ask you
at my
about
notes from
that.
my call. My vitamin D was a little bit low. They recommended I take some vitamin D. That was about it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm pretty normal for my age. We'll
Yeah.
see how long that lasts.
Oh, no, you seem really healthy. I mean, if you're doing all this. But yeah, let's on that subject. Yeah, could you talk a little bit about your cycling story and some of the benefits from that? Because all the people I know who cycle like swear by it. They say this is the best thing, you know.
Yeah, I started in my early 20s. Um, and I went to work for a company whose founder started the US Postal Discovery Team. Remember Lance Armstrong? Lance used to come in the office to come out for rides, and I've always been an endurance athlete, and I was a runner, and I had a lot of knee issues from running, so I started doing more cycling, and then it really became my Prozac. So I've ridden uh, 4 to 5 days a week for the last 35 years, and then I got into competitive racing as a master's. I still do. In fact, I was just in Vermont last weekend for a 3 day, 4 day stage race. It's like an old guy's mini Tour de France. It's pretty cool. It's 200 miles over 4 days, and we did 12,000 feet of climbing. And but anyway, the long story short is it's I'm a big fan of cardiovascular work. I'm a big fan of finding something that you like to do if you're going to build cardiovascular engine. It's really hard to say just go run or go be a cyclist. I mean, you can do it weightlifting. You can get your heart rate up weightlifting. So it's like and maybe it's just genetic, but I just did all my numbers and like I have a biological age of someone 20 years younger than I am.
Woo,
And some
that's
of
what I'm
that is
talking about.
genetic, but a lot of it is my weight and the way I eat.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is now I'm older. I'm in my early 60s, and I still have a ton of energy, but I have to start focusing on weightlifting and muscle development. So that's something I need to start doing. But I
Yeah.
recommend anybody that's running into late into their 30s, unless they're just have no issues at all, to consider riding a bike. It's just awesome.
Yeah. No, I hate, man, I hate like treadmills where you're just stuck on the thing, you know. And I like seeing the environment around me change, like, there's trees and stuff, and maybe an urban center going past buildings or something, like running. I bet cycling is like that, but even better because you're going faster, you're seeing more stuff.
Yeah, and it's way more acceptable today than it was 20 years ago. I don't know if you
Mm.
spent, I don't know what Chicago's like, but New York, people ride everywhere. It's so accepted now.
Yeah, yeah, we got a ton of bikers. Could you tell me why whenever I see bikers, they have these like kind of like long sleeves or these like tighter shirts, and they got these neon colors and like brands on them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'll go get one of my kits. Yeah, okay.
What is this? I'm
Well,
just
first of
curious.
all, the bright colors are great for motorists seeing you. The
Oh,
light
okay.
skinny stuff that you wear just wicks sweat away and it doesn't flop around in the wind.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so that's why you see all the Lycra, and it's kind
Oh,
of a cool factor. Most of well, all of the professional teams in the world have logos on their jerseys, right?
yeah.
So a lot of people, wear the sponsored clothing or buy something.
Oh, so it's like wearing a Michael Jordan basketball jersey, like if you're playing basketball.
Exactly. You like your
Oh,
favorite
I
team,
see.
your favorite team kind of thing.
I thought all
Well,
these people were on like TV and I just happened to be there behind them, like or
it's kind
something.
of it's kind of changing a little bit. Like Rafa, it's kind of people are getting more subdued in the colors. I call them peacocks, right?
Hmm.
Everybody looks like a peacock with all the colors.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. That was very enlightening. I'm like, why don't they just throw on like a t-shirt like the rest of us? There's always
Because
a uniform.
riding with cotton, you get all sweaty.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, you don't want to look like a like one of those guys at the gym with like a big like sweat
Exactly.
oval coming over coming out the
I don't know.
armpits.
Cyclists are a little weird sometimes. It's a little, and we all shave we all shave our legs
Oh,
to,
really? Why is that? Like
exercise.
aerodynamics or something?
No, no. Well, truthfully, it's great for massage. If you're racing professionally, you're getting massages every day.
Oh, really?
Yes, after every stage of the tour, they're getting rubbed down.
Oh,
If
holy
you
cow.
if you crash, it's a lot easier to clean your skin than when you have hair in your skin. And when your body hits the ground, the hair tends to pull your skin more.
Can imagine that, yeah.
But that's part of it. The real truth is like is men want to get in touch with their femininity. They love looking at their legs. I mean, you're riding 5 days a week, and you look down and there's dirt going through your legs from your sweat. It's disgusting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's a cultural thing.
Okay, really.
it's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
My daughters give me a lot of shit about it, you know.
As
And
like
my wife, I
yeah.
get nubs on my legs. She said, "Get out of here." And you're too skinny. You're too skinny.
That's funny, like a cultural thing. I think of have you seen the movie American Psycho?
I have, yeah.
You know where they're showing each other their business cards?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine like bikers like showing each other their like shaved legs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
Let's see
like,
Paul Allen's shaved leg.
yeah, guys will look at each other's legs and like, man, you're cut, you know. I mean, the same thing in the gym. You obviously have spent time in the gym, right?
I was just at the gym, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go near you in the gym. I go to the gym at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon with all the gals, and I do the stretch bands, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to change the weights.
Hmm.
But when you're in there, I like, oh, I guess Marty was here. It's on 250. But dude, good for you for doing, I'm telling you, all this cardio stuff, you only need, well, 150 minutes a week. If the average
150.
human did 150 minutes of elevated heart rate a week and went to the gym twice a week, obesity solved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about zone two. Do you have any info on this, like zone two and VO2 max? These seem to be like the buzzwords in my longevity media with like Andrew Huberman and stuff.
So great question.
Always
I am
going crazy
a
about it. Yeah.
huge fan of zone one and zone two.
Okay. Oh, zone
Um,
one. I just hear about zone two. What's zone
or
one?
zone two. So are you familiar with what the zones are?
Yeah, it's like the higher your heart rate is, right?
Right. So basically, and everybody's different. So like my max is about 180. So like, 100 to 120 zone one, 120 to 140 zone two, and so on. When you're in zone one or zone two is probably a little bit better. And for hours, first of all, you can do it for hours at a time. It's not going to tax your body. And you burn a lot of fat. You
Hmm.
burn a lot of fat. And you can build muscle. So when I go to the gym, I'm in zone two. I'm not power lifting. I'm just in zone two for 45 minutes. I don't stop. I don't rest between sets. I don't do heavy lifting. You probably laugh at me because I don't know lifting. I don't know much about lifting, but I'm in the gym at
Wow.
zone two. I want to start putting on some more weights and building muscle mass. But whenever on my bike, so if I train for a serious competitive event, which I just did in Vermont last weekend, I was training 12 hours a week and I was doing 10 hours of zone two and an hour of zone three and maybe only 30 minutes of zone four, zone five, high VO2 max training.
Okay. So what does that look like? The zone two, are you doing what is it, hit? Are you doing hit? Are you
No,
doing
I'm just riding. I'll just ride. I'll go for a 3 hour ride
got it, got it.
and my
That's
heart rate will be 130 the whole time.
okay.
And then I'll do a couple of hits at, 140, 150.
That's the hit. Okay, got it, got it, got it.
Or 160, 170. We also use power. Power is a better measure because your heart rate lags. So
Uh-huh.
it's the same thing in the gym. I don't know much about weightlifting, but I would imagine you're not always powerlifting, right?
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes,
Um,
you take out some cables and you just do like high rep and stuff. People say it's for endurance, but I heard that's BS. But I heard that it is good to like um do higher reps on like specific muscles, like for machines to break those microfibers in places where you can't get them in the big compound lifts, like a bench press.
Yeah.
something like that.
And VO2 is, a measure of your oxygen in your lungs,
Okay.
and some of it is genetic, and you can improve it. Mine's fairly high because I'm riding a lot, and then I do intensity training. But you mentioned zone two VO2 max. I'm a huge fan of steady cardiovascular zone two in any sport you're in, running, cycling, kayaking, weightlifting, because you're just burning fat.
I heard the main benefit, this is from one of my previous guests on here. I heard the main benefit of zone two was improving the VO2 max. But okay, you're saying it's really good for burning fat. I haven't heard this. Um, I heard that like, well, yeah, why does zone two burn a lot? Why is zone two good for burning fat?
Um, Long and slow. You're burning fat versus glycogen. So if you go, into zone four and zone five, you're going to burn through all your glycogen stores.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're not going to be able to hold your zone two power. So usually if I want to go do a hard, VO2 max kind of workout, I'll do zone two for 2 hours and then I'll do my intervals and then I deplete my glycogen. But I'd love to learn more about what your person on your other podcast said about improving VO2 with a lot of zone two training. I don't know enough about it
Hmm.
to.
Okay. But yeah, okay, that makes sense of why it would burn fat because you can probably do it for longer, just more calories burned over time because you're not, like you said, like expending your glycogen stores.
Yeah,
You
and
can
if you
just
go out
keep
and drill
going
it, if you
aerobic.
go out and drill it and you're burning glycogen, you'll start wanting to eat.
Yeah.
I could go do a 4 hour ride with just water in
Yeah.
zone two. But if I'm doing zone three and zone four, I've got to eat a lot of food.
Yeah. 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 I used to do football. We'd have pasta parties, do a bunch of pasta, a lot of carbs. So, you got energy for the game.
Day before, right?
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. You get is there such thing as biker's high?
Bikers, what?
Like biker's high? Like there's runner's high? Is there biker's high?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing. Cyclists love pain. It's like it's like an endorphin. It's incredible. Yeah. It takes a while to get there. I mean, you gotta ride. You gotta ride. It's just like going to the gym. I hate the gym, but I guarantee if I came there with you and I worked out with you for 2 months, I'd probably love it. And you can't wait to
Hmm.
go to the. And that's why I always tell people that if you're trying to lose weight, build muscle mass, find something that you think you like to do and just do it. And do it even if you hate it. Keep doing it. And then you'll develop that high where you'll just like the runner's high. But absolutely, cycling is the endorphins that you get from riding a bike for 4 hours are just, there's nothing like it. You sleep better, you eat better, you feel better.
Yeah, that sounds great. I heard it's a big like serotonin booster.
It is.
Serotonin like makes you feel like calm and stuff throughout the day. That's got to be nice. So you do it in the morning, so you got that like feeling for the rest of the day, or
I worked on Wall Street for all those years. I had to be at the office at 5. So I'm usually an afternoon guy.
yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you would have to. You're not gonna be out biking at 3 a.m.
No.
Do you listen to any who's your top longevity guys, like your top health influencers? Do you listen to any good content like because you're legit, you're in the business, we've been on here, we're you're obviously know what you're doing. But there's a lot of guys every week. It's like, oh, what this guy said is wrong. He's just trying to sell stuff. Like who in your opinion is really good and like legit to listen to for longevity, for health, aside from yourself, of
My
course.
not my favorite is Dr. Peter Attia.
Peter too.
He wrote the book Outlive. Have you had a chance to read it?
Nope, it's on my list, but I've
Uh,
listened to his podcast a few times.
Yeah, it's an incredible book. It's pretty thick. It gets pretty scientific. That's someone I follow regularly because he's very unbiased with his recommendations. Um, I follow, sometimes perceived to be a crackpot, but he's a great guy, Brian Johnson.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. In fact, we've just been testing his company called Kernel Health. It's a
Hmm.
brain scan. It's pretty cool. You put this helmet on, it's got all these sensors on it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
at these test labs. And to some extent, Mark Hyman, who's
Okay.
the founder of Function Health, which is a blood test company. Quote one of our competitors, but they're largely just in blood tests, and they just bought an MRI company.
Got
But
it.
I like Mark a lot. I like what he writes. So those are my th three go-to guys. Less so Brian because he's a little bit, you know, I think he wants to inject everything under the sun. I'm a little suspect of putting stuff in my body.
Yeah. Well, what people say though, which is cool, is that at least he's going out and he's experimenting a lot of things. He's like treating himself like a lab rat,
Guinea pig,
a
yeah,
guinea pig. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
But
cool.
it's just that's just one person. So
Exactly.
I'm
N
just
equals
I'm
one.
just
Yeah.
very suspect of anybody that's I don't know these longevities. In fact, we're raising money for our expansion right now, and I think I'm talking my investors out of investing because I think the longevity space has gotten too crowded with too many tests and too many McMedicine type solutions that want to sell you supplements or the test du jour. So I'm very just like the diets, since I was your age, there's probably been 15 different diets, right?
Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah.
those,
Keto,
yeah,
paleo, Mediterranean, all this stuff.
any diet's good, except maybe vegan, because I think that would kill me if I went
Oh
vegan.
yeah. How are you not gonna have meat? We're literally made of meat, right?
Well, there's meat substitutes, but anyway, um, it's all about testing. I mean, like you're lactose intolerant because you did a test. You have celiac, you can't eat bread. You do tests and
Yeah.
you find
Yeah.
everybody's different. There's different supplements that you need to take because you can't eat bread, right? Everybody's different. And that's the whole, I'm pitching my company again. Your data with lots of science behind it, and new tests will come and go. And hopefully by having a handle on your own data, it'll constantly remind you of things you need to do, or a new test might come up specific to what's specific to Marty. But anyway, those are my go-to guys. I love Peter Attia. I highly recommend you read his book.
Yes. No, I definitely will. That'll definitely be my next book for sure. Okay, so we said Atia Johnson, albeit recognizing that, N equals one with the stuff he does, and then Mark Hyman. Yeah, Colonel. Colonel's interesting because, most people, I think, when they think of his longevity efforts, it's Blueprint.
Yeah,
It's like a neuro thing. What
yeah, he
even is
started, I
Colonel?
think he started Colonel a while ago, and they've got this $100,000 helmet. It's really cool.
Goodness. Okay.
It puts some images up on the screen and it measures your brain waves. And right now they're just collecting data, but they hope to do a lot more with it. Um,
Like what? What could you do with
I
that
don't,
data?
cancer detection, neurological disorders, who knows? But it was very cool. All it gave me was my brain age, right?
Hmm.
And I don't know how accurate it was, but my mom had dementia, so it was nice to hear my brain age was like 10 years younger.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. And I think a big selling point just like that is even just if you probably just assure people like you're okay. I think that could, for some people, that could merit a price tag like that.
Yeah, but in a couple cases, the brain age was older than they were. What do we tell them?
It's
Hey,
interesting because
Brian, what
yeah,
do I,
you
what do
want
I
to know,
tell
but
Marty? His brain age is 60.
oh gosh. No, that is true though. Yeah, because you don't want to know something like that. Ugh.
Yes, you do. You do. I'll tell you why. Dementia is a major issue in society, and there are things you can do if you're predisposed towards dementia. So both my parents had it. It's probably going to happen to me, and I want to do everything I can from if there's a brain scan that can tell me stuff to medicines to supplements to just being able to do the Wordle at least 10 minutes and 10 minutes because my daughter does it in 30 seconds. Yeah,
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Well,
And
it'd be
we're working
yeah.
with a company right now to offer, mind games to people, you know.
Hmm.
So
Mind
anyway,
games.
yeah, mind exercises.
Oh, interesting. And that works like preserving cognitive.
Don't know yet. I'll let you know after I try it. But look, working
Yeah, I'm
hard,
excited.
being healthy. I mean, half the problems with anxiety and depression is, lethargy and weight gain,
Yeah, yeah, it seems like that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know too much about Colonel, so thanks for enlightening me there. Because yeah, he was doing that before he kind of, I think, went all like making himself the center of his health stuff. Like when he was just kind
Yeah.
of a normal guy right after he
Have
did
you tried his
fintech.
product?
No, no.
I haven't either.
I've seen his documentary and it's cool, but
Kiyoki was kind of similar idea, to do custom matched specific supplemental hydration products.
yeah,
I'm again, I don't know. I don't know. Um,
yeah. Um, but seems cool. I think he's having someone else take over that. He said like it's too hard for him to do all this crazy health stuff and run a business full time. So he said he was either trying to sell it or just like sell off the company or just
it
like
seemed like he was kind
slow
of,
it down.
I don't know the product that well, but it felt a little athletic green like to me,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
which went to like almost 1 billion in sales very, very quickly. I tried it. I hated the product, but um,
Expensive, man. You're talking about athletic greens?
yeah, $70 for a bag.
Nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Nuts.
So
Yeah.
um, it's green. I guess anybody that wants to be really healthy will eat anything. Did you try it?
Oh, actually, I did. I did actually, because I was at Costco and I had a free sample. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good," and it's called Athletic Greens. So in
Yeah.
my mind, I just think of like a super fit guy and greens. I'm like, "Oh, this feels healthy. Yeah, I want that in my pantry." But then I looked at the price tag and I was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. No way."
It's smart marketing, like athletic brewing.
What is that?
Athletic brew?
What is that?
Athletic brewing? Man, you people in Chicago are behind. Athletic Brewing Company is a non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
Athletic Brewing, it is so delicious. It tastes like real beer. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there's lots of non-alcoholic beers on the market now, but they kind of coined it with athletic brewing.
Okay. Definitely gonna check that out. Yeah, my 21st birthday is coming up, and I don't want to drink for like health reasons and stuff. So maybe I'll just get some of that, and we'll pretend. So that's cool. Yeah.
Well,
Um.
Marty, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, I was about to say it's reaching the hour mark, but yeah, it was really great to have you on. You're like the perfect guest because we're talking about health and technology, all of our favorite names and companies and
It's a great
stats
space.
and stuff.
I rip on all the plethora of testing companies out there, but it's so exciting to see all these new technologies and companies trying to help people garner better health. It's all going to sort itself out. So hopefully everybody will win.
Oh yeah.
Um, we just want to be sure that people are getting the right stuff.
Yeah,
And
personalized, personalized.
that's nice. Yeah.
You guys kill it with the personalized aspect for sure. Yeah. All right, viewers, stay cycling, stay not taking too many supplements, stay experimenting, stay eating right, doing zone 2. Most of all, stay superhuman. Peace.